Yo guys, welcome to ShayanGaming. League of Legends released a article explaining the new game mode that's coming soon and some updates to existing rotating game modes. Because they're working on the new game mode, they're currently pausing support for all the existing rotating modes such as Ultra Rapid Fire, ARAM, all random Ultra Rapid Fire, Spellbook, and Free For All. So we won't see another rotating mode until the new Deathmatch mode comes out, which should be this summer. Before I give you the updates on the current rotating game modes, I'll go straight to the Deathmatch game mode because we do have some new information on it. Some of the main things they want to accomplish with this new mode is to quickly get players into champion versus champion combat. So I can kind of imagine this as being a great way of playing new champions that you haven't played and you haven't really learned properly, but a way to just quickly test them out, test their abilities, and learn more about the champions in the game. Because let's face it, there's so many, and knowing what all the champions do helps you massively in Summoner's Rift. And then the second point is really interesting: push champion customization beyond where League has traditionally gone. I mean, this could mean so many different things. I don't know if it's like customizing the weapon of Lucian or the axe, well, not the axe, the sword of Tryndamere. I'm not really sure what this means. Maybe it's like an animation of each champion. When you kill a champion, they do some death animation that you decide what it is based off if you purchase the upgrade. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what this could be. And then minimize time spent dead or trapped in a frustrating game. Great. Who doesn't want that? As we already knew before, it's going to be 4 teams of 2 facing each other in several deathmatch rounds. But it sounds like it will be 2 versus 2 at a time. And I guess while you're fighting the other team of 2, then the final team of 2 will be fighting each other. And over the course of the game, your champion will progress in power, gaining items, levels, and special powers that are called Augments in between the combat rounds. And it explains a bit more what Augments are further below. But before that, once a team has lost enough rounds, then they're immediately eliminated, but they can immediately start queuing again for another match. So you can kind of continuously play this mode even if you're not good, and hopefully improve over time. And they give some examples of the augments, but they make it very clear that this could change because they're still making loads of updates, so this is not certain for sure. But just as an example, we have Dawnbringer's Resolve, which when you drop below 50% health, you heal for 30% of your max health over 3 seconds. So that's kind of like a whole new mechanic to think about when you're about to kill a champion. You might normally in League of Legends think, okay, if there's no Soraka to heal them, I'm just going to kill them and they're going to die, then I can focus on the next champion who we need to fight. But in this case, they're actually suddenly going to start healing, although it is over time, so it's not going to be sudden. But there's a whole new set of things you need to think about. And the rest, the other 2 examples they've shown are just regarding ability haste and movement speed. You can pause the video if you want to read them fully. And the purpose of these augments are to create significant power-ups that create unique builds for champions. And some cool things that they've been able to do so far using these augments are Sylas, who can cast Lissandra's W every 5 seconds. And in case you forgot, her W is Ring of Frost, so every time she uses it, she freezes enemies, dealing magic damage and rooting them. I mean, this is kind of crazy. This is pretty crazy. I mean, rooting them all the time. Although it is a deathmatch round, so even though you're rooting them and they can't really go anywhere, there's nowhere to go because it's a team fight basically. So you kind of are going to be fighting each other anyway. But then you got Ekko with 500 attack range, which is a bit insane. I mean, Ekko's current attack range is 125. That's equivalent to almost Tristana's attack range, which is insane. And then you have a Kaiser who can dive the enemy team, dying immediately, but then creates a huge explosion post-mortem that wipes out a huge chunk of her 2 enemies' remaining health. Interesting. A pretty YOLO augment to get, if that's how you like it. And then they said because they don't want to make us wait too long, they're going to release the game mode in an experimental state first, so expect some bugs, etc. But if we like it, they'll continue to make it as good as possible. And it's expected to be released in summer. So now let's go back to ARAM and the updates they're going to give. So the most important one is the tower rubble mechanic. They're actually going to be either fully reverting it, so getting rid of it, or scaling it back massively. And I think scaling it back massively is probably going to mean either reducing the total length that it takes, so reducing the width that it takes from the bridge of the game, so there's less of a choke point, and that should be in a future patch where they make that change to it. And also death timers will be reverted back to their patch 12.22 level, which I'm not sure what it is, but based off what they said, it sounds like they're going to be lowering the death timers towards the end of the match so that, you know, it's less of a you die once at the towards the end and then the enemy team just wins the game immediately. And Nexus Blitz, they haven't forgotten about it. They're aiming to make it functional again. I'm not really sure what went wrong with it, that it wasn't functional, but then they're going to release it again, which is nice because it is one of my favorite game modes. There's a lot of nice random events that happen in the game and you can pick your champion and it's quick. So it's like the best way to practice a champion, except for ARAM. But ARAM, you get a random champion, so you can't really practice who you want, even though it's still quick. Well, anyways, I hope you found these updates useful. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the comments below. And be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. And see you in the next one. Adios.